Welcome to the Fast Lane. I'm your host, Derek Lane. Another edition of the Podcast for Success. Thank you so much for joining me, and let's have a conversation. Well, I guess it's more like a monologue, but that's okay. Hey, listen, we've talked about many things in our success path, our journey to success, and what's beneficial, what are the the hiccups, the road speed bumps, the things that are must. And I've always talked about pencil and paper, jotting things down, making a rec. It's how you gauge your success. If you don't have feedback, then you don't know if you've been that successful or not. You may feel like you have. I know some people that once they started this practice of making a journal, writing things down, and keeping track, they realized that they weren't doing as much as they thought they were to accomplish the goals that they set out for. And so once they started tracking them, they realized they can do more. And you'll remember in a couple of episodes back when I talked about being busy being distracted, not working on the plan, but working on menial tasks. Anyway, we're going to segue into being a person that has an agenda, I guess. And that agenda means that you have to know other people. You can't do it all by yourself. Now, don't confuse when I've told you in the past that if it's to be, it's up to me. If no one else is going to push you, drive you, motivate you the way that you should, and hopefully you are, you got to push yourself every day when you don't feel like it. When you just want to go, to heck with it today, I'm just going to take a break. No, not unless it's a planned break, because you do have to spend time with your family and friends, right? You got to make time for that special person in your life. You have to do that. But when you've got planned work time, you got to get things done. That's what successful people do, is they keep pushing forward, keep pushing on. So one of the ways to do this and to feel more energized and rejuvenated is to make sure that you've got your contact list up to date. There was a fantastic seminar that I went to where a gentleman talked about contacts, and it stayed with me. This is, God, I hate to give it away, but at least 25 years ago. But it still is relevant today as it ever was, and that's understanding your core group. Who's in your core group? And when I talk about writing things down, I talk about putting a little list together of the people in your core group. And then beyond that, putting a list together of people that are maybe not in your core group, but they're still contacts. And then beyond that, acquaintances. And beyond that, people you plan to acquaint with, and maybe even one day be in your core group. And just remember, these people change, okay? The people that are in your core group may not be in your core group next year. And some of these acquaintances, or even hopeful acquaintances, they may be in your core group. But the point of this, let's call it an exercise, the point of this is to know, to be able to gauge, to be able to keep track of the people in your life. Now, the more people that you know, the more opportunities you have, okay? Because we're all connected in some way, business-wise, spiritually, whatever the case may be. We're all connected. We just haven't met everybody yet. And so don't keep yourself from meeting people. It's paramount to your success that you meet as many people as you can. And I know that social media is a big thing, right? And you may have, 500, 600, 800 people, in your friends network on your social platform. That's really just, that's more bragging rights than anything. Me, I'm kind of an old school guy. I like to keep a Rolodex or something similar to that. Not that that's that big a deal anymore. And I really don't clutter up my phone with, hundreds of names and phone numbers. That's really my core group in my phone. But I keep the Rolodex of people that at any given time, if there's a time that I need to reach out to people. And periodically, you should reach out to people for no reason at all. Because you don't want to be that person that, they only call when they need something. Somebody looks at the phone, they see it's you, and they think, oh boy, what's he need now? What kind of favor is he going to pull, right? Don't be that guy. Be the guy that when somebody sees that you're calling, they look at their phone, they go, oh, hey, wait, look, it's Derek. I need to take this. It's that this guy usually has good advice, good vibes, checks in with me. It's a pleasant conversation. So you're not just taking from this person, you're giving to this person. And you make it a point to call. Okay. The other night, my wife and I were out at dinner, and I had to kind of smile afterwards because of the amount of people that I ran into that I know and that knows me, and we shared a hello and good evening, and it was fun, and even one person commented, it's like, gosh, do you know everybody? No, I don't know everybody. But it is nice to have enough people to treat you with respect and want to take a moment, even if they're in a hurry to get their table. Hold on, dear, hold on. Hey, Derek, I saw you standing here. Da da da. Oh, hey, John, how's it going, buddy? Even if it's that short, it's important. It's important in people's lives that you know who they are, you know what they do, you know their spouse's name. And names are important to try to remember people's names. There was a exercise, and I won't get in too far out on the limb with this, but there's an exercise that you can do. You can look up online on how to remember people's names, and it's associating, features with, certain elements of that person, and then, it just jogs your memory very quick to know that, that person's name, is Jason Bender, whatever it is. I don't know. But it's important to remember people's names. They love to hear their names. People love to hear their names. When you haven't seen somebody in 2 years, and you're like, hey Bob, how's it going? How's your wife Sally? And 2 kids, right? Boy and a girl. Yeah. Gosh, I guess they're probably nearing high school age now, right? If you give that to somebody and you're dead on with it, man, they're just like, wow, that guy is genuine. Okay, it's not just some smoke and mirrors play that like, oh yeah, he tried to sell me something or whatever the case may be. No, it's genuine. And the reason for this is that when it is time to interact business-wise or what have you, call in a favor, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. But again, it's a two-way road. If you're going to ask for things, you better be willing to give things, okay? And that's what makes the world go round. That's what makes relationships work is that there's a care factor in here. You care about the other person. And once they understand that and they know that about you, that you care, that carries a lot of weight. Okay, so always be aware of that. You're not going to get anywhere in life just sticking your head in the sand. It's not going to work. And I'll relate this quick story about, my father, God rest his soul. He told me once when I was a teenager, he said, you're trying to do everything on your own, and you can't. And I said, teenager, rebel, like, I don't need anybody, Pop. I don't need anybody. But, he knew exactly where my attitude was, and he saw right away that it needs to change in order to instill, a degree of success into my life. And that was to make sure that, I reach out and build a strong network of friends and family, acquaintances, business partners, people in your life that you know. And what's that whole 6 degrees of separation thing, where somebody, anybody that you want to know or you want to meet, you're only 6 people away from that person, right? If you're not familiar with it, look it up. It's interesting. But I believe that's true. And sometimes it's less than 6. Whomever that you want to meet, you've always got a roadmap to meet that person via the people that you know. So it's a lot easier when you know a lot more people, okay? So in order to expand your success in life, you need to expand your network of friends and colleagues and partners, and expand that, and then people tend to want to help you when they see how much you care. When you know somebody's, wife's name or husband's name, their kids and stuff, that's a person that is more willing to help you. Hey, Baba, nice to see you again. I'm going to give you a call this week in your office and say, okay, I got a couple of questions for you. Okay? Well, sure, Derek, no problem. So when I call, he remembers the polite conversation. I didn't try to push business on him in an impromptu meeting and just ruin his night and catch him off guard. You don't want to do that to people. You want to make sure that you're professional. You stay professional all the time. You don't run into someone having dinner and then go, hey, are you ready to buy this da-da-da-da? People were like, yeah, I'm trying to eat here, bud, So you get the picture. It's important to know people. It's important to treat them with respect. It's important to care about people. It's important to give people their proper setting, and likewise. If I run into somebody that's pushing me on something when I'm in a social event and out, I'll make it very clear, hey, you've got my phone number, right? Okay. Do me a favor. Call me Tuesday at 3 o'clock and I'll make a note, okay? Give people time specifics, but adhere to them. Hold up your end of the bargain. People are more likely to, not, tear your head off about things when you're very honest and you do give them the time. Okay? Okay, so anyway, with that, I'm not going to drag this out. I think hopefully you got the message. It's important to have a network. Your network can enhance your success, move things along faster, and creating friendships that are bountiful. It's an important aspect of your life. You should be doing that. Okay, so I'm going to cut the podcast episode short on that one right there. And listen to me.